Delhi NCR, a collection of 5 cities of Gurugram, Faridabad, Noida, Greater Noida and Ghaziabad. Together, they are India's second most important housing market. Today on the Property Show, we do a deep dive into what's hot in Delhi NCR, what's selling and at what price. And most importantly, with the housing market on a rebound, are speculators back in the game? Joining us, Pankaj Bajaj, Managing Director, Eldeco Group, Tarun Mehrotra, Senior VP and Business Head North and East Region at Tata Realty and Infrastructure, Sameer Jasuja, Founder and CEO at Prop Equity. All right, we're going to show our audience a lot of data which has come to us from Prop Equity. But the first question is to you, Pankaj. Delhi NCR literally was gutted in the second wave. I mean, we really suffered more than probably anybody else did in April and May. How are the numbers? Have they actually now recovered in June and July? What do you see?
So the numbers in the aggregate are a little lower than before, but for some developers, numbers are very, very good. So what is happening is that there's a clear differentiation which has happened now. So it will depend on who you put this question to. Some people are likely to say the numbers are great, and others are going to say they're down in the dumps. So overall, I think the property equity data is going to show you the overall aggregate is a little lower, but some people have doubled or tripled their numbers.
Tarun, is that your experience as well? You know, for the good developers, the sales have picked up, but for the not very credible developers or with a track record, sales are still extremely subdued?
So I'm not very sure of the overall market numbers, but our numbers have been extremely robust, Manisha, and the market... There was a clear bounce back between the first and the second wave that we had witnessed last year, and post the second wave, which had actually completely devastated us. And we were quite skeptical whether, the market bounce back is going to take some time, but boom, next week onwards, the footfalls were back and the numbers, conversions are absolutely back. So, in fact, some people are calling it kind of revenge buying, So the more the market has been subdued, so I'm very happy with our numbers.
Sameer, what is the data saying? What is the fastest moving product? Is it homes between 1 to 3 crores? I'm hearing a lot about low-rise plotted developments selling, especially in a market like Gurgaon. They seem to be on fire.
Right, Nisha. First, let me put the data in perspective. Right, our lowest year, we had 18,000 units that got absorbed in the NCR market. Last quarter of 2020 and first quarter of 2021 saw 8,000 units a quarter being absorbed. That's 16,000 units, which literally takes up the market by 40-45%. Quarter 2, which was really bad, was about 4,000 units. It came down by 50%. So we definitely anticipate that the market will bounce back from there. It will bounce back to about 6,500-7,000 units from in the July, August, September quarter at least. New launches have been down. Roughly, we are absorbing 8,000 units and new launches are 6,000 units. So 2,000 net inventory is going down on a quarter-on-quarter basis. Now to answer your question on the independent floors. Yes, low-rise independent floors have been the flavor of the season over the last 6 to 8 months. Whoever is launching is doing extremely well. The strategy behind launching low-rise independent floors is to get faster cash flows for the developers because they can complete much faster. The cost of construction is much lower compared to gated communities and high-rise apartment condominium complexes. So that is why they have launched and they've taken up the prices also because of that, and they've been very successful in selling out their inventories pretty fast. It's been a very fast absorption rate. Okay, so fast moving product has been the low rise floors or plotted developments. Pankaj, what's been the fastest selling product for you? I mean, I'm looking at the launch numbers also. There's been very little launch in that affordable category that we call under 50 lakhs. Most of the launches are between that 75 lakh to 3 crore mark. Is that the product which is fastest selling and the most in demand?
So our theoretical assessment 2 quarters ago that there would be a demand for upgrade in housing is actually playing out. It's practically people are actually looking for slightly higher level housing. So surprisingly, the demand is not the most in the sub 50 lakh category. It used to be that 45 lakh rupee product in the NCR in the range of 40 to 50 lakh, Noida extension, Rajnagar extension, all those places would be a very hot selling product. But now I would say the sweetest spot is a 3-bedroom, 75 lakh rupee apartment. So it has moved up a little bit. If you have a product which is 70 lakh rupees, and if it is low rise, like Samir said, that's moving very, very fast. So there's a clear trend for an upgrade, a slightly bigger home, a 3rd bedroom, maybe a study room. And somebody who's a 4-bedroom would not sell about a year ago or 2 years ago, but they're back in demand as well.
Is that
so surprisingly, the 2-bedroom and the 1-bedroom studio, that's not the flavor of the season.
Wow. That's a big shift, isn't it, Tarun? So, but are the apartment sizes increasing, or is it really that design is getting smarter the way it is in Bombay, and you're able to give people 3-bedroom homes in what earlier used to be 2 bedrooms, or maybe a little bit extra than that?
So, Manisha, I would tend to agree that the size, the demand for a larger size has gone up. So the smallest size typically is the slowest selling size right now in our inventories as well. The mid size and the larger sizes are moving very, very well. Now I have 3 primary categories which we are selling in the NCR. One is 60 to 70 lakhs starting, one is 2 crores starting, and the other is 4 to 5 crores. And surprisingly, all of them are giving us fantastic results. Volumes are fantastic in all of them. However, I tend to agree with Pankaj that, if you had a 60 lakh rupee 2-bedroom and a 75 lakh rupee 3-bedroom, the 75 lakh rupees moving faster. The sheer number of leads and demands which were there for 2 bedrooms have actually moved to the 3-bedroom category.
Okay. Samir, any particular geographies which are doing very well within Gurgaon, within Noida? I mean, I look at the prices now, prices are widely different. Noida market, that entire region is still at about a 5,000 to 6,000 rupees per square foot. In Gurgaon, the prices are between 8,500 rupees per square feet. But can you tell us which are the markets which are the fastest selling?
So Manisha, first I'd like to make an important point with respect to independent floors and larger sizes. Now, independent floors have a better super to carpet area ratio compared to a apartment condominium building. The difference is roughly about 20%. So that's where the addition in area comes in and the price remains still affordable. That's one very important point why independent floors are selling well because of larger carpet areas that they're being able to deliver. Now, to your point, basically, the markets that are doing well are Golf Course Extension region is doing reasonably well. Dwarka is doing reasonably well because to Pankaj's point and Tarun's point, 75 lakh to 1.5 crore products are available over there with reputed developers. And in Noida, Sector 150 has a lot of supply from reputed developers like Godrej and Tata. So they are being able to attract a lot of sales. Because really speaking, sales that are happening are either happening in the ready-to-move-in segment or with branded developers. So they are doing exceedingly well there. And Sector 124 is also doing reasonably well.
Okay.
In Noida.
Fair enough. Pankaj, the price difference between Noida and Gurgaon that we continue to see, right? It's great. Noida remains a market for mid-income families. Jewar, though, could be a big game changer. Do you believe that, next 3 years we are likely to see a faster rise in probably a Noida market than Gurgaon, or that's not going to happen?
No doubt about it. Noida is due for an upward correction, and it's not only a time correction which is going to happen because prices have been flat for the last 6-7 years, but there's tremendous cost push right now. Cost of construction has gone up by 25%. So at 5,000, 6,000 rupees a square foot, it's below the replacement cost of the inventory. It has to rise and it will rise. And even now, if you look for a good ready-to-move-in apartment, it is not available in Noida. There is the other big bogey in or a notion in Noida is that there's a lot of oversupply, which it is not. Supply is going to go down very fast. It will get absorbed very fast. Coupled with cost push, I foresee at least 15 to 20% price rise in the next 12 to 18 months in Noida.
Wow. Tarun, I'm just going to read out the inventory overhang numbers, because I'm still not able to grapple my mind around the fact that, apartments are not available, because the data which has come, Delhi NCR continues to have the highest inventory overhang amongst top 8 cities. From a high of 58 months in 2017, it's come down to more reasonable levels of 48 months. Ready supply, which is ready to move in inventory, also is above the healthy rate of 24 months. It's at 30 months currently. That's the prop equity data. Tarun, looking at that, how much pricing power do developers really have?
Well, frankly, developers have had a long dry run, and still reeling from almost a four-year absolute low market. So I don't think anyone who is sitting on older projects is currently pushing for a price rise. However, having said that, I mean, we have tweaked prices maybe about 8% upwards, and they have been absorbed happily in the market. I mean, we follow strict business plans, and at the turn of the last financial year, we tweaked prices upwards, and the volumes have not suffered at all. So the market is willing to absorb volumes even at a 8 to 10% kind of a healthy price rise, which is not exorbitant, but is healthy.
Okay. Sameer, is that what you read as well going forward? Perhaps inflation adjusted price increase is something that developers will be able to pass on to the home buyers, but nothing more?
Manisha, there's been a serious amount of consolidation in the North market. We are hardly left with 10, 12 developers from 100, right? So literally it is going to become, I would not like to say a seller's market, but if they would want to increase prices by 10% because they can offer back-ended plans, and they can offer better sizes in terms of either coming out with new products like low-rise independent floors where they offer better carpet areas, or they come out with decent-sized apartments which is in the demand of the market, they will do continuously well. And 8% price rise after 6-7 years is not much to absorb. It can easily be absorbed by the end user. And the other point I'd like to make is that I am seeing green shoots, and I'm seeing investors coming back into the market, especially in the plotted development market. We have seen a price rise of 20 to 40%. So that kind of rise makes the apartments also become cheaper. So they tend to go up by 8 to 10%. There always a difference in plotted development versus gated communities, but still that also gives a big push for pricing to go up a little bit.
So this,
I'd like to make a point.
The last time, yeah, go ahead, Tarun.
Just to take on from Sameer's point and my point earlier, the 10% odd increase, is what we have experimented with in the existing inventories only. However, I'd like to make a point here that we don't have any plotted or low-rise developments as such in the NCR, but the feasibility of such developments, because we get offered almost 100 projects every month, and the feasibility of these projects, because of the overall price increase that the market is willing to afford and the volumes that the market is willing to offer, has suddenly become very viable now. So we may be coming out with these kind of projects, and in new projects the price rise can be much better accommodated because of new designs and new adjustment to the market in terms of the product.
All right, so we can probably look at more independent floors and plotted development project launches.
Absolutely.
Pankaj, are you worried that there has now, the last time the market collapsed, and it was led by NCRs because of that huge speculative factor in this market, right? Then RERA came in, the markets got cleaned up. I mean, I get nervous every time I hear somebody like DLF saying that, we've done 3 launches in 9 months and we've raised the prices 30%. So are you beginning to sense that that's a little bit of a worry?
No, not really. Because as Sameer said, this has happened after 6 or 7 years. And if you average out the increase which has happened in the last 1 year over the last 6 years, it's hardly anything. And even now, the numbers are not through the roof. So as I said, some developers are doing well. DLF is obviously doing well. They are the market leaders. But not everybody is doing well. So in the aggregate, the numbers are not through the roof. They're not too much. It's not a hyper-heated market. anything but, and the price rise is anything but it's a price correction. And I say that it's going to continue for the next 18 to 20 months, and it has to. For a healthy market, this kind of price rise has to happen because the developers need to have decent margin for their operations to be sustainable. What has happened in the last 5 years in NCR is not sustainable for any developer's balance sheet. So it has to go up for it to be a healthy market. I'm not worried about it at all. If prices were to double from here, I would start getting worried. But a 15-20% increase is not something that I'll lose sleep over.
All right. So perhaps just like the stock market got this huge 100% bump, maybe, one segment saw a big correction as well. All right, we're going to take a quick short break. I think one big overhang on the NCR market, despite the fact that it's in a much, much healthier state today than it ever has been, is the 3 lakh homes which are stalled and delayed. When we come back, we're going to ask this panel, how do we get them out? Because, the noise and the pain of these home buyers continues to be an overhang on the sentiments of NCR. If there's one cloud still hovering over Delhi NCR, it's the agony of the 3 lakh home buyers whose life savings are stuck in delayed or stalled projects. Is there a way out of them? Pankaj, as the NCR North head, I think this is an answer which I have to ask anytime I'm looking at an NCR show. We are in a better shape, definitely. JP resolution has happened. Swami Fund is likely to complete 13 stuck projects, and we hear, stronger developers like Gorsons, Alpha Corp taking over some of the stuck projects. But what happens to those projects where there's absolutely nothing left for the financier? How do we get those home buyers their home back?
So the IBC provision and the NCLT mechanism gives us a way out, and the projects which had absolutely no juice left, they are beginning to get some juice back because of the rise in market one. And secondly, the stakeholders in the projects are now reconciled to taking haircuts. So there is a way out. There are at least 20 or if not more projects in the NCLT process as we speak. The resolution process is going on. Some of the resolutions have happened. I think finally, after years, these 3 lakh home buyers do have reason to hope. If not in 6 months, maybe in 12 months, maximum 18 months, but 12 months on the outside, I think we would see new promoters, new developers taking over some of these stuck projects and the cranes to start moving again. So I think finally, after years, we have big reason to hope.
All right, that's a positive statement from you for all the home buyers who are stuck. Tarun Mehrotra, is Tata Realty looking at any of the stuck projects to take them over, or just take land and then build? I mean, land itself has come down now to very reasonable rates.
So we went through a whole plethora of projects which were stuck, and we studied them in depth because they were offered to us. And most home buyers actually reached out and said, if Tata Housing can take these projects, we'd be more than happy to cooperate with you. RWA reached out to us, but there were too many issues, and we being with the background that we are, we decided not to venture into that at all. So currently we will be looking at greenfield projects which are more up to date. But how I overall agree with Pankaj's view. See, today there is a demand. Overall demand for housing has gone up. So all stuck projects will eventually find a buyer who will live in them. Right. So, as long as demand is there will be an escape route. But as far as we are concerned, we are not actively looking at any such opportunities at the moment.
All right, Sameer, your final word in terms of who can be the savior has to be the NCLT route. Do you think the buyers can probably get together and, get independent funding, top up with their savings a little bit more and complete it? What's the way out?
Since we're discussing the NCR market, first of all, the number of stalled units in NCR were around 1 lakh units out of the overall 4.5 lakh units. Now, out of the 1 lakh units, mostly they were with large developers like JP, Amarpali, Unitech, and then there were a lot of small developers, but the numbers in volume was not that high. So if you have the Swami Fund coming in, solving Amarpali's problem, somebody coming in, taking over JP, and eventually Unitech getting resolved, most of the problems, I would say 70% of the market the units will see the light at the end of the tunnel, and they will get delivered. As far as smaller projects are concerned, either through NCLT route or through the other routes where RWA members get together and find a solution, there will be some kind of development and some kind of completion that will happen over there as well. But since the problem was so big and it was the biggest in the NCR market, it's going to take its time. It's going to take 3 to 5 years from here for all those projects to get resolved, according to me. They may start seeing construction faster, but then the complete resolution with completion and all that will take time.
What about projects which have all got delayed because of the construction slowdown in the two pandemic period or the height of the pandemic periods? Tarun, are you delivering in time, or are you going to take that RERA umbrella which has come to developers of 6 months to 9 months, depending on which state you're building in?
So there is obviously a delay, and especially in the NCR, it's not just the pandemic. There is also almost 3 to 4 months of, from October till March, construction is almost because sometimes because of pollution, sometimes because of the NGC, all of those green laws, etc. So it is affected. So currently we actually take only 8 or 9 months worth of construction in a year. So there is a lag. However, we are definitely trying to cover up that lag.
Everyone is aware of the fact that, pollution does happen and construction does get affected in NCR every time during that period. At least 30 days are lost. Pankaj, what's the way out? Look, at the end of it, I know the delay is out of control of the developers, but it is the home buyer who ends up paying EMI for like 9 months longer, isn't it?
Nobody could have helped the pandemic. So, what can a developer do? We can't blame the developer. Everybody has to suffer the consequences of the pandemic. So, I think for a mid-sized developer, the effect of the pandemic has been a year. He can try, everybody is not a Tata. So, a mid-sized developer can try to cover up some of the lost time, but I don't know whether they would be able to.
I can understand that. I'm just saying that barring the pandemic, I think the NCR market thoda sudhar gaya hai. It's become definitely better. A project completion used to take almost 8 years. That period itself has come down to 5 years thanks to RERA and the market cleaning up. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me today on this show, specifically dedicated to the National Capital Region and its housing prices and market. That's it from me. Thanks for watching.